I'm wrestling. You're not weak for me. Celebrate what I am. Celebrate what I have been. Celebrate what I represent. And celebrate the many ways I have impacted your life. I will survive this test as I have survived others. I am forever etched into the very fiber of all mankind. The world needs me. Time is on my side. History guarantees me. I am wrestling. Do not wait for me.
What's up, everybody? This is Ben Askren, your host of the T-Row and Funky Show. You're listening to episode number 46, as always, with my main man, Tommy Rowlands, and as always, brought to you by Defense Soap. Defend what you have built. Tommy, what's going on in Ohio? I think that maybe the World Series is there tonight or something. I don't know.
Cleveland Indians are up 2-0, Ben, as we speak. I am going to be behind home plate tomorrow with the...
Are you serious?
With the customer. Yeah, man, I'm going to the game. I'm excited.
You're going to be behind home plate?
I mean, probably not front row behind home plate, but the guy who got the tickets for us said they're behind home plate, so...
Okay. So
Anyway.
I don't know if you by any chance, do you see the prices on tickets at Wrigley Field? It was Game 6 when they were up 3-2?
I know that some guy purchased... Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Insane.
Some guy he purchased 4 tickets front row behind the dugout for Game 7 in Wrigley for $98,000.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
could you imagine being the guy who sold the tickets? Like, man, I hope they make Game 7. You know?
That would be, yeah, because why would you buy it before it could get there, right?
Well, I think he's pledged it or something, so he only has to pay if it gets to that point.
Oh, okay. Maybe he hedges his bet, so he buys them a little cheaper, but it's a guaranteed money or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Who the heck?
Well, I'll tell you, I am not really a baseball. I'm moderately a baseball fan. The Brewers.
What about the Brewers, man?
They're always freaking terrible. It's annoying. They suck. So frustrating. But I will tell you though, I'm not a Cubs fan. Never been a Cubs fan. Never cheered for the Cubs one time. But when I saw them win Game 6 and they went to the World Series for the first time since 1945, I
Special place in your heart?
Yeah, I got some goosebumps. I thought, wow, that's pretty awesome.
That's pretty cool. The other thing is, you heard of this Theo Epstein guy, right?
Sure, yep.
I mean, he's like the greatest mind in sports. He somehow resurrected the Red Sox and got them to a World Series title in a million years, and now he's doing it on the verge of doing it with Chicago. So
that's pretty impressive, huh?
Yeah, he's the man. He's the man.
So it was the same guy at both places.
Same guy. I mean, if he pulls this off, which I hope he doesn't this year, I mean, pretty amazing, right?
That I would say that's incredibly amazing. I mean, resurrected the 2 franchises that had the curse on him. He's like the curse breaker. Maybe he's got some witchcraft or something.
Yeah, baby.
Wow, though.
Curse breaker. What else you got for me? What's cooking up there? How's club season going?
We actually were hosting the preseason state this weekend. Let me tell you real quick before he calls in. So we got Kerry Regner on. He's the coach at Williams Baptist College. And, we always talk about kind of building the sport or growing the sport or kind of thinking outside the box. We've talked about that on our show just constantly in the last year. Mm-hmm. And so what Kerry did is very interesting. He proposed, so his college had men's folk style wrestling, and he proposed they had women's and that they had a Greco program, and he convinced them to do both, which in my mind is impressive because obviously the women's, then the Title 9 issue, that's fantastic. But then the Greco, I mean, literally there's no other college in America that has Greco. And so, he's kind of a pioneer here. He's the first guy to do it. And I think obviously this could lead to more colleges adding Greco down the road. And to kind of go further on that, I talked to a guy named Greg Hatcher, he's been one of the guys that's helping the programs get added in Arkansas, the folk style. And, he says they're going to small enrollment-driven universities who will benefit by getting 40 more kids on campus. And these programs are just adding like crazy. I want to say they added between Arkansas and Kansas. It's something like 20 programs in the last 8 years or something crazy,
Well, if you think about it, just from the economics, Ben, just as a business person, if you go to a school where, let's say it's 35,000, do you think that's the average cost to go to a school where 35,000 a year? I think that's what the average.
I think it depends on whether it's a state school or a private, but
right.
I would say a private college. I think you're talking $30,000 a year.
Got it.
Sure.
So let's take 30 grand, and let's say you want to field a roster. What's the average roster size? 34 guys, 35 guys?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
All right, so we'll take 35 guys times $30,000. You got $1,050,000 in tuition, room, board, books, everything collected. If you field a team, so you've got $1,050,000 going into the school. It doesn't cost $1 million to run a wrestling team.
No,
you can hire
even close.
You can hire coaches. You can freaking refurbish a basement and put some wrestling mats in. You can get a nice little travel budget. Heck, you can even offer, half a scholarship or two. And so it's a business initiative. I want to get 35 more bodies into the school because I already have enough teachers. I'm already taking up I have excess capacity in the classroom size. I have the capacity to field more students and not add more cost. If I start a wrestling team, I'm going to get another $1 million in tuition, and my cost to run that team is $300,000 or $400,000.
Not even, Tommy. No, I think you're exaggerating.
Exactly, yeah. So bing, bang, boom, I got $700,000 to the bottom of my school, and I'm a businessman.
Yeah, and now you're saying, well, in Kerry's case, he added folk style, women's freestyle, and Greco-Roman wrestling. So, they could draw possibly 100 students.
No doubt.
100 students at 30,000, that's $3 million a year. And you got to believe that the facilities are going to be the same between all three teams. They're just going to have to rotate practice times.
No doubt.
And then, really, I don't know that they will share coaches. I guess that's something we can ask Kerry. But I would venture to guess that they can kind of share coaches here.
Let's take it a step further too. If you have a wrestling team that finds success or develops,
he's calling in. Hold on.
Okay.
All right, hold on. Give me a second. All right, Tommy. Kerry's calling in here, so let's get him on the line and get his thoughts on everything we're talking about here. Kerry, what's going on, man?
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, so Tommy and I were just, I kind of told him about your situation and what you did, and we were discussing kind of the business aspect of this from a small college perspective and how much getting more students on campus provides these small colleges.
Yeah, we're an enrollment-driven school. So every year, schools like us, not just us, but schools like us are looking for ways on how to get your more students on campus. I mean, it's that simple.
So I looked back through your profile, and I didn't know you spent that many time. I remember you on the Greco circuit, but you spent I believe 5 or 6 years at the USOAC in Northern Michigan, which up until now was the only Greco program post-high school for kids to go to in the United States. Obviously, you guys now will become number 2. So I guess, is that going there? Is that where your idea to start a Greco program at Williams Baptist came from, or where did it come from?
Yeah, well, let me correct you. I was there for a whopping 7 years.
7? Oh, wow.
7.
Yeah.
Yeah, super duper senior. But it was kind of, through experiences is what I learned. Through experiences, I accepted the position here, and I think December of 13, moved here in January 14, and I could tell that the number one aspect of getting the wrestling team going was getting kids on campus, getting kids on your roster. And always, Greco is a huge passion of mine. And so I don't remember when it actually hit, but it came to light, and I was just like, we can do a Greco thing with the Northern Michigan model. The idea now, I hear people, trying to do part-time Greco and stuff and I just don't see that being successful unless you have the most elite folk stylers. Sure. You look at Brad Varing, Joe Warren, Matt Linland. They were able to have very, very successful folk style careers, and then transfer into Greco. I tend to think that you need to really just focus on one. I am all for like wrestling and doing all sorts of sports. I grew up playing multi sports. I'm all for wrestling all three styles. In fact, I was an angry fish, so this is a second angry fish. This is a second angry fish on the in a row you got going on. So it's cool to hear Storny.
No, I didn't even know Storny. I forgot that he was an angry fish.
Yeah, he was kind of adopted. I mean, I'm from the Pittsburgh area,
adopted. There you go.
Storny would come in like the whole summer and mostly I think live with the Herberts. And yeah, I mean, it was a cool experience. Maybe I don't know. I mean, I heard Storny's, outtake on a lot of things, and I mean, he made a lot of sense, and his creative thinking is kind of up my alley too. And so, I don't know, maybe we were just trained that way. I'm not sure.
Brinzer got in your head.
I do call Ray occasionally, probably more than occasionally, and just pick his brain.
Sure.
Some of it's.
I'm
on
sure
coaching.
We should have him on the show, Ben.
Oh yes, you should.
He's an interesting fellow, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, Kerry. Tommy, I don't mean to be hogging all the airtime, but I got
You're
some
just
questions
really
here.
hogging, man. It's unbelievable.
I got some questions here.
All right, go ahead.
So, Kerry, I'm going to be just completely frank and honest with you here. We kind of almost discourage our kids from wrestling Greco in high school at AWA, and the reason is because our mission is to send kids to college, and there's just not college opportunities in Greco wrestling, as we kind of discussed. So, and I'll tell you, Wisconsin loves Greco, so if you want to recruit Greco wrestlers, you need to come up here. Not my kids, but the rest. But do you think this is something that can become more widespread, where maybe in a decade there could be a dozen or 20 college Greco programs, something that's more viable for a high school kid who wants to go to college, continue wrestling, but do it in Greco instead of folk style?
Yeah, that's the hope and plan to grow it. I think no better way to grow it is to have this one succeed with flying colors. And then, the leaders of Greco in our country can say, look at Williams Baptist College. Look what they were able to do. We can help you replicate this idea. I know that our school would be excited about that too, because then you can kind of more create a better schedule where, we don't necessarily have to fly to New York Athletic Club tournament or, look for, the tournaments are scarce. They really are.
For sure.
They really are. So
is that has your college given you a budget to go to those type of tournaments? Obviously, you can't go wrestle dual meets against anybody.
Well, you're right. Well, we came up with a budget proposal. A lot of it is going to depend on numbers. Okay, so if our numbers work out, our budget proposal will work out. Now, at the same breath, I remember being 18 years old or a freshman in college, and as a freshman in college, I was not ready to go to the New York Athletic Club tournament. I was not ready to go to the Dave Schultz tournament. But we have come up with a conclusion that they will fund 6 approved domestic tournaments.
Wow. Okay.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so like the downside of the USOEC is you're either sponsored or you're not.
Yeah.
So like a lot of us, we had pretty good, scholarships there, but a lot of us were racking up credit card bills, and those are far worse than student loans, I assure you. So I remember my dad calling me and saying, hey, if you want to go on this trip, you're gonna have to take out another student loan. And at the time I was just like, yeah, okay, well, tell me where to sign. Let's go. So I think it was my freshman year actually, and I was a walk-on at that point. But then I was going out to the Olympic Training Center over spring break. So I think it was like a 10-day trip, and I needed flights and cost of staying out there. So
So are you guys able to provide scholarships for the Greco? I guess because that's obviously not regulated by any organization. So technically, you can provide as many as you want, right?
Technically, yes.
But that kind of takes away from the revenue driving initiative to increase enrollment, right?
Well, yes, but there will be scholarships to be had.
But I guess, Tommy, though, if your college is say 30,000, I don't know what the tuition at Williams Baptist is.
Let me. Tuition's 16.2.
Yeah.
And it's froze this upcoming year, so it's going to be 16.2 next year. Out the door, room and board, everything is $25,000.
So Tommy, if you're talking 25, right?
How big's your roster, Coach?
Well, right now 32.
25,000 times 32. So
wait. But okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So the school's collecting a nice little mint there.
Well, yeah, I mean there are scholarships. I mean, guys are on everybody's on scholarships of some.
That's
sort.
awesome.
Of some sort.
So not only is the school getting what they need, but these kids that you're recruiting to come to your school are getting a good deal on a good education.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
We're one of the most affordable private colleges in the country. It's a very family oriented atmosphere. I'm actually walking around our wrestling center right now because I live 300 yards from my wrestling room. So I have a 1-year-old, so this was a good place to come kind of make sure there wasn't any distractions.
That's awesome.
That is nice. So I guess, Tommy, what I think, with the scholarships, what's going on there is that, so if it costs, say, $25,000, like you said, and you can offer a kid, say, a 25% scholarship and make his college affordable for him. Now he can come, whereas maybe he's looking at the 25 price sticker. He's saying, I can't do that. And then obviously the university's still collecting a good portion of that money, and they're enabling a lot of these kids. Am I right or wrong here, Kerry?
No, you're on the right track. Yeah,
okay.
You're very much on the right track. And there's a lot of things, there's grants to be had in Arkansas. There's the Arkansas Challenge Scholarship. And then you got your Pell Grants, your grants, your loans that are going to help the bottom dollar, the bottom line number figure for every student, help them get by each year and pay for school. So
for sure. And I was trying to tell Tommy the number earlier, but how many colleges have been added in Arkansas in the last handful? It's a big number, right?
6.
In the last how many years?
That's a good question. I would say maybe 6. I don't know.
The last 6, one a year.
I think Ouachita. I don't know who was first. But Kevin Ward. I'm sure you guys are familiar with Kevin.
He's at the Army.
Yeah. He set the bar super high. He came in in 4 years, and they took home a team trophy. Was that his third? I think it was his 4th year. His 4th year, he took a team trophy home and was coach of the year, and then moved to West Point. So, but I got to know him while he was down here. Picked his brain as much as I possibly could. He set the bar pretty high for us. So,
pretty outstanding stuff.
Yeah.
Tommy, I got one more question. If you don't have any.
No, I'm enjoying yours, Ben. You're just taking all the air out of the room, so I really have no choice.
Man, you're killing me. So Kerry, is there a number 2? Is there someone else you've been talking with that may be considering the same idea, adding a Greco program? Is there someone else you're looking to, someone else you're talking to about doing this model?
I mean, people have started contacting me, and about it. I would like everyone to get behind this one first. Like, give me a minute. Like, it's
sure.
We just got announced last week. Give me till about August. Like I said, there's no better way to market a good idea than with a success story.
Yeah,
for sure.
If
we rush as a country and as Greco, if we rush and try to seize the opportunity and then realize that there are not as many interested Greco athletes, let's say all of a sudden, 5 popped up, and then each program had 10. That's not going to help the enrollment-driven schools.
Sure.
You got to get those roster sizes up. So I say take it one step at a time. We're already at 100% better than we were 2 weeks ago. So that's a great number to be like, hey, we're going to put more people in foundational Greco training. And there's a lot of kids out there. Actually, there's a kid from Memphis who's come up and trained with us a few times. He won Fargo in juniors.
Dang.
And took second in the state in Tennessee. So you can tell clearly, not to knock Tennessee as a state, but you can tell that Greco is his niche. There are guys out there like myself, like Andy Bezick, like what you've seen the story, what Yvonne did with the USOEC, who are just flat out better at Greco.
Yeah.
They really are, and that's what we hope to capitalize on. We want to find those who not only have a passion for it, but they're just better at it. I mean, it's like trying to make a shooting guard a center.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, Kerry, we have those in Wisconsin like crazy. I mean, 2 Olympians this year. Ben Provisor, he never won a state title in Wisconsin, and obviously now he's made 2 Olympic teams. Then Jesse Thielke. Obviously, he had a really rough year with the Badgers his first year in folk style, and then just transitioned seamlessly. To your point, those guys are just better at Greco. That's what they do, and I think we have a handful of those up in Wisconsin. So I don't know that you might want to come check out the All American list from Wisconsin. Start contacting some of these guys because they are super passionate about Greco wrestling.
Kerry, so how do you so when you're trying to build this program up, you've started it from nothing. I'm assuming you have, some support, whether it be emotional, financial, whatever it might be, from USA Wrestling, and everyone's cheering for you here to make this work. But my question is, how do you look to what type of kid are you trying to identify, to convince him to move to Arkansas? Is it that kid that where, like you guys are explaining, where Greco's is the niche and they're not necessarily, cutting edge recruits, or are you leaning on, the U.S. national team coaches to help you identify people? I mean, are you on your own map, or what's your process?
We will take all the help that we can get. Mm-hmm. Now, in saying that, I'm not going to be the head coach. Our next step is there's a job application. The job is open. We are accepting applications to someone who's interested in doing it. The reason why I'm not doing it is because I started this program 3 years ago, our folk style team, and I put my blood, sweat, and tears into it. I love my guys. We're doing very, very well. I think not that rankings mean anything, but our preseason ranking, we're 5th in 3 years. Nice. We have 10 juniors ranked in the country. So, I have a hard time just handing over 3 years of labor and just being like, here you go.
I don't blame you, man.
My hope is to bring in a high level Greco mind who's ready to make anything. When you build something from the ground up, you take so much more identity into it. When we started our program, our wall mats came in late, and so we put them up. We literally put them up. We didn't order them to be put up. We put them up, and the guys took identity. I heard one of the guys say we built this, and it kind of stuck. That was right. That was kind of some sort of the mantra. And when you have an identity of hey, I built this, look what I did, kind of you're 4 years old and you're building a castle in the sand with your mom.
No doubt.
And that's what we're looking for, someone who's just innovative, who's excited, who's hungry, and just saying hey, we're the first private college who's starting a Greco team. Look what we're doing, and we're going to take over the world, and we're going to make huge waves. If anyone out there doesn't think that we won't be putting guys on the world team with the proper training, they're crazy. Spencer Mango, he's from St. Louis. He was going to go, I forget where he was going to go, to Meatball State. Andy Bezick, Andy Bezic was committed to a Division II team. And there are guys, with the proper training that you can make into high level Greco guys. And now that we're starting, at 18 and not 23, I mean, this is going to make a world of a difference. We're going to give competition to not only NMU, but also to all the senior levels. And competition breeds success. Period.
No doubt about it.
I agree 100%. Well, this has been enlightening. I guess, Kerry, you got anything else for us? Otherwise, we'll let you go. And tell people where they can connect with you, whether it's by any Greco program or maybe whether it's about coming to wrestle Greco for you.
Yeah. We're obviously we have a website. Our athletic website is wbceagles.com, and we already, if you click sports, there's already a Greco-Roman tab. You can find my email under the normal wrestling one, and I will be handling all, Greco recruiting until we hire somebody, which I've already got quite a few emails, quite a few very, very promising emails from some elite high school wrestlers and even international ones. And that's the beauty. We can bring in international wrestlers, which looks good for the sport, which looks good for our school. I mean, we're always, talking, the OTC is always trying to bring in international athletes to the Greco for the Greco.
That's an interesting take too, right there.
And so, yeah, I mean, I have some contacts that we're already working on getting some internationals, and we have some kids who are, European placers and stuff that are very interested. So yes, get on our website. Also, we're very active on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You talked about branding. I think you guys did a couple weeks ago, and active pages. We're very active, very creative. You should check out our intro video for our folk style team this year and last year. It was pretty good.
It's on the website or on Twitter? Or?
On everything. Instagram, we're pretty active. Facebook, we're really active. Twitter, we're active too. I would say that's our least active. Just probably habit. But Instagram's where it's at right now, in my opinion, with kids and stuff. They like pictures and short videos. So.
That's the end of our society.
And orange slices and
yes,
sons.
Yes.
Well, all right, Kerry. We appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on, and best of luck. I hope you're doing great things down there.
Thank you very much for having me on. Very much appreciate it.
Good luck, Kerry. Thanks for coming on.
Yep. Thank you. Take care.
See ya.
I got to have the next guest on, Ben. You're just
killing them.
You're taking all the questions from me.
Tommy, I got one for us next week, or whenever. Just kind of in the same vein as these last two guys that kind of think outside the box and make shit happen. And it's Pat Popolito's brother Frank, who's up in New York. He's doing all kinds of things up there. But
he's a lot of fun.
We're gonna
have a good time talking to him.
Yeah, but
he's got that East Coast deal, so he's gonna tell us. He's gonna tell us what we're not good at too. So it'll be good.
There you go. But he's got this. He's got a lot of things going on. He brought Division I wrestling up there. He's got two big tournaments, and there's no Division I wrestling teams in his area. But he's also got this international tournament in the spring. We sent some of my guys out there to New York last year. I want to say he had 5 other countries coming, and I think this year he's up to 9 or 10. He's got freaking kids from countries all over the world coming to wrestle in a youth tournament. I mean, it hasn't happened anywhere else in Wisconsin, in the United States.
Right. I tell you what was Kerry's last name, by the way?
Kerry Regner.
Stud, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He's a mover and a shaker, wants what's best for wrestling, motivated, wants to make a real difference, has sound thoughts. A lot like our guest last week, Mr. Storniolo. Those angry fish are pretty smart, huh?
Yeah, they're thinking outside the box. That's
smart
for sure.
Fish. They're not like Dory and Nemo.
Hey, can I tell you a story?
I can't believe you didn't even laugh at that.
So I got this ADHD and I got Asperger's. I got some issues. My wife tells me I miss social cues sometimes. Hey, can I tell you a story that's semi-embarrassing? I don't even know that's appropriate, but it's our podcast, so can we really get in trouble? I don't think so.
No, let's do it.
Okay, well, he told me about, he was talking about putting up the mats. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Well, Tommy, I don't do drugs. I don't drink. I never drank in my life, Tommy, and haven't done drugs. I've been high one time in my life. And do you want to hear the story?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so we move in. So we had mats in my basement in Wisconsin. Growing up, I had just a mat in my basement and worked out. And I went to college, and we wanted to put mats up. Well, there was, and in Missouri, I've never seen it somewhere else, but there's like, in a lot of the houses in the basement, there's a little cement box underneath the garage, so there's not like no ventilation, no nothing. It's just a room. And so that was the perfect room for a wrestling room, right? And so my dad came down, and we had some friends there, and it was kind of like he said, "Hey, we're just gonna put up our own mats," Well, there's 4 walls, obviously. You got to put up 4 walls, right? 4 wall mats.
Of course, yeah.
And so
I got them right in my basement for my boys right now.
So maybe you had the same experience.
Well, you and I had a little tussle down there, if you don't recall.
I remember, that was fun.
You did pretty well.
Okay, so we put up the first 2. Everything's going well. We put up the 3rd one, right? And I kind of remember this. It's a little foggy, but I just start looking at my dad and start laughing at him, and he's like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm just giggling at him, right? And he's like, "Oh my God, you're high from the glue fumes." So he there's these glue fumes everywhere, right? So he's like, "You got to get out of here." He's like, "Go," and he's like, and they yelled at my mom. He's like, "Hey, Michelle, go watch him. Don't let him come back in here, And so they made me go on the back deck, and I'm like sitting there, and I'm like blabbering to my mom about God knows what, and she's like laughing at me because I'm not making any sense, And then I got this, and I'm like, forget that. I'm sitting out here. They need my help in there. I need to go help them do this. This is crap. So I remember I stormed back in there. I slapped my dad. I steal the glue roller from him, and then I start laughing at him again.
What did your dad do?
So then they kicked me out. They kicked me out again, right? And I was like pissed because I wanted to help. I want to help him. I want to get in there and work. So I'm freaking mad, Tommy. And so they put me out back, and they locked the door so I can't get in, right? And Tommy, like I said, I'd never been high. I don't do drugs. I was so high. So I tried walking up this hill, and I fell. And I was crawling up the hill, and I thank God there wasn't iPhones back then, because my brother and his friends would have been taking videos of me. And I remember I was just army crawling up this hill, just and I got like grass all my face, all my back. And then I remember I was trying to yell at all of them because I was so freaking pissed that they wouldn't let me get on there and help. But it was like nothing was coming out right, And so they're all laughing at me more. So I just remember I got more mad. And then I think I stormed off and went and sat out in the backyard.
How long did it take you when you snapped out of it? Did you go to sleep?
It was long. Well, then they took me. It was a couple hours, and then they decided to take me to another guy, kid named Jeff Faust. He was a big fella champ. Take me over to his house because they wanted to go see him or whatever. If they were on dinner, I can't remember. And I remember I walked up and I punched his dad right in the chest. And they were all freaking mad at me. And I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. So, Tommy, it took me 6 hours to be normal again,
And that kept you away from all the bad stuff.
That's the only time in my life I've ever been high. So thank you, Matt Glue. Oh my God, that was bad. So
it's great. I like it.
That's embarrassing. Yeah. Okay. So you want to go on there? You want to talk about? Well, that's the only really super embarrassing story I have. Do you have any embarrassing stories you want to tell us?
Not along the context of the road you just went down.
Okay.
But yeah, maybe I'll come up with one or two here soon.
We should have asked Kerry about some embarrassing Jake Herbert stories, because I know Jake Herbert's done something highly.
Herbert's an angry fish, so
yeah.
That's 3 smart guys in a row, maybe.
Well, Herbert, we're not so sure. He did graduate from Northwestern, but we're still on the fence on him. Have we had him on our show yet?
No, we got to have him on.
We should get him
We've
on.
had Andy on.
Andy Rovad on.
Yeah.
We gotta get Jake on sometime.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
I got to come up with the next guest. I'd like to have Burrows on. I think he's ready to.
We already had him on.
No.
Again?
Post-Olympics.
He'd be our first double dipper.
Yeah, he would be our first double dip, but we're 46 episodes in. Eventually, we got to start recycling, right?
You're right. We got to have someone on again.
I just would like to talk to him about his Olympic, post-Olympic stuff. And I saw him at Bergman's wedding, so I talked to him a little bit, and he has a great perspective.
Yeah, that would be a good guest to have on if he'd like to come on. He might be mad. I heard he was mad at Willie and Christian though, because they said he was going to retire. And I talked about saying he was going to retire.
Listen, I like Burrows a lot, but that blog.
It sounded like he was going to retire.
It didn't sound like he was going to retire, but it certainly.
That's what it sounded like to me, Tommy.
It sounded like we should have a discussion about what he means by his comments.
Well, we don't all get to have discussions with Jordan Burroughs, so we just got to read into it.
Well, I actually think at the end of the blog, I think he said, maybe I'll see you again. I mean,
or maybe not.
Well, yeah, if you say maybe means either or, right? So.
But why did he have to say or maybe not?
Did he say that?
I don't know. I could just be making stuff up.
I'm going to look the book up. We're going to call him out on his...
It's a lot more fun to be making stuff up than it is to tell the truth. That's for sure. Either way, he left you with the cliffhanger. It wasn't like, I'll be back, I'm going to take a little break. It was like, maybe I'll be back. Like, he could have been more clear about his intentions there.
Yeah.
Okay, anyways.
Okay, here's go. Okay. When you stop seeing gold, you gain the clarity to life's true treasures. Maybe, and he's speaking to wrestling because it's addressed to wrestling.
Sure.
And his last two sentences was, maybe I'll see you around. Maybe. So.
Oh, that's questionable.
That doesn't mean he's retiring.
Oh, what do you mean?
No, you got to let me finish, dude.
That's exactly what it means.
It doesn't mean he's retiring.
Give me a break.
It doesn't mean he's not. So
exactly my point.
Right. So come on, JB. We got to talk about it a little bit. I mean, that's quite a cliffhanger.
Well, yeah, he's one of the best American wrestlers of all time, and he's leaving us with cliffhanger. Yes, we're going to talk about it, and yes, we are going to assume the worst.
No, you just need to boost ratings. You're just going to trump out and just create a really big situation.
Have you been paying attention to WikiLeaks?
I've been paying attention to WikiLeaks. I gotta tell you, man, this election is just
insane, right?
Yeah, bad.
It's bad. It's real bad. Okay, so we meant to talk about the NWCA All-Star Clinic.
You know what I feel like right now?
I don't know. Let's just talk about Trump some more. I don't know.
You know those guys on your team where you're like real focused and you're training hard all the time, and you can see that there's this group to the right of you, and they're like working out. But they're just not like totally dialed into the workout, and you're like, you guys,
I got you.
We're those guys right now, Ben.
We're not dialed in. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we are those guys right now.
We've been talking about the Cubs. We're talking about Trump.
We are those guys. It's like we're on the podcast.
Talking about Herbert.
We care about. I care about this podcast. I want it to be successful, but am I dialed in right now? Not much.
Well, what do you really want to talk about, Tommy?
I do want to talk about wrestling, actually. I think we should talk about the All-Star Classic. It's coming up November 5th in the city of champions, Cleveland, Ohio.
Seriously, okay, Cleveland's like the dumpiest city in America, and all of a sudden they got the best fighter in the world, Stipe Miocic, and the NBA and possibly Major League Baseball champions. Like, where did that come from?
And then, even though the Browns are 0-7, some people think they're going to go 9-7 and make the Super Bowl.
Oh, give me a freaking break. Okay, Tommy, but seriously, dumpiest cities in America. Does Cleveland make the list? Top 10. Dumpiest cities over 500,000.
Top 10. What's your definition of dumpy?
I don't know. Whatever definition you want. It makes my list. I'll tell you that much for sure.
I'll tell you. You take the people out of the cities. Cleveland is absolutely in the top 10. 100.
Was that a political answer right there?
No, I just love
a politician's answer.
Here's the thing. I love Cleveland people. They're my favorite people. I have so many great friends from Cleveland. Name
one.
Jay Jaggers. Jesse Lang.
Right now, Tom, you're like that guy that says, "I'm not racist. I got black friends."
Oh man, I love
Cleveland people.
I love Cleveland. I love the people of Cleveland.
They're not even going to let you in the World Series tomorrow.
No,
they're not going to let you in the World Series tomorrow. They're going to be like, I listen to your podcast.
Here's what I love. Here's what I love about the people of Cleveland.
Okay, let's hear
it. They don't like that I say the city's like dumpy or whatever, but they wouldn't want it to be some Taj Mahal looking thing, Chicago with the fancy lights along Lake Michigan with the clear water. They don't even want that.
You mean they like plywood over windows or what?
They just like Cleveland. Have you ever read Jay Jagger's article when LeBron came back in the Cleveland Plain Dealer? He wrote a letter to.
Remember we talked to him on here. Though.
He wrote an op-ed, and it was just amazing. Just Cleveland people go hard. We win hard. You know, we work hard. They just go. I love the people of Cleveland.
Is Lance Palmer the epitome of a Cleveland person?
He's right up there. You know, Mike Basillo, Jaggers, Jesse Lang, Palmer. You know, I got so many friends from Cleveland. You know, my favorite Cleveland person is Jay Jagger's dad. He's the man.
He's the best Cleveland person.
Cleveland people are real. They're real. Listen. It is a dumpy city, so I'm like slapping Cleveland around and hoisting them up at the same time. You know. But Cleveland people, they're just real. You know when you get around real people, and it's like, man, this is I
don't hang out with people who are fake because I can't handle
correct, and neither do I, Ben. And so when I'm hanging, if there's a group of 100 Cleveland people, 92 of them are real people, and that's a pretty high percentage, right? Yeah, any other city,
You know where I hate, Tommy? It's not dumpy, but you're talking about real Cleveland people. South Florida. Everyone wants to drive a fancy car and wear fancy clothes and act all tough. Yeah, it's
L.A., Los Angeles.
I got you there.
No thanks. Yeah, it's like no thanks.
Yeah.
So,
Vegas.
anyways, I love Cleveland, but yeah, the city, hey, it's got to get better.
Well, LeBron has that show. What's that show? He's got Cleveland Hustles where he's helping out entrepreneurs. It's kind of like a Shark Tank-ish type of deal where he's helping out entrepreneurs. So who knows, maybe LeBron will lead to the revitalization of the town of Cleveland. I mean, they need it. And did you hear how many people he sent into college?
It's not exactly the appropriate time to say Cleveland needs anything because they're just crushing it right now, Ben. No, they're absolutely crushing it.
They need less plywood on their windows of their buildings. I'll tell you that much.
They got some good areas. That West 4th Street area. I think it's West 4th. Just the whole where the Quicken Loans Arena and Progressive Field are. They got some nice bars and restaurants. It's coming around.
Hey, how many kids has LeBron sent into college? It's something ridiculous.
It's over 1,000. I know he's pledged a lot of money. I mean, LeBron for being a professional athlete,
41 million, 1,100 kids. I just googled it.
Yeah, for being a professional athlete, LeBron is a pretty real guy.
He's from Cleveland. What do you expect? The realest.
Well, I hated it when he left, and I'm not even a Cleveland fan per se.
Yeah.
I want them to win, but it's just not right for me to say that I'm a Cleveland fan, even though I cheer for them.
Yeah.
But when he left, I was angry. But if you look at his story, the fact that he left for reasons that had to do with himself shows a lot of the personal struggle that people go with doing what's best for you versus what's best for the people around you or the community you're involved in, and how that's a struggle. That's a battle. Yeah. And then he was drawn back to the place. It's just a good story. Anyways, I didn't plan on this wasn't on our agenda to talk about Cleveland this week. But one of my favorite cities in the world, but when people say, it's not a fun place to visit, I can't disagree. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Anyways, where are we going
now? What town's next? Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's really revitalized itself. The downtown was kind of happening when I was there this summer.
The whole Rust Belt's just it has a lot to do with the election. The whole Rust Belt is neglected. So we're taking our jobs to China. China is where all of these jobs are going.
And so import tariffs or something. Keep them here.
Yeah. Anyways.
Okay, let's go on to something we actually have expertise in, which is wrestling. NWC All-Star Clinic. Tommy, I'm going to, we kind of got distracted, but I wanted to talk about this. I am highly disappointed, Tommy, because when I look at this list of NWC All-Star Classic matches, which is supposed to be a spectacular event, there's literally one match I'm excited about. There's one. I mean, most of these matches I'm like, seeing that, that's not that good.
Is that the NWCA's fault?
Yeah, a little bit. And there's actually three Missouri guys on there. So
don't go against the establishment without backing it up. Why is NWCA's fault?
Honestly, if you can't provide the matches, then two things. I would say, number one, if you can't provide the matches, you almost got to just say, okay, we're not doing the event. I mean, if you can't put it's kind of like how Willie Saylor does it at who's number one, and I don't know. I'm giving Willie a lot of credit here, but I think we talked about this. He only puts on 9 or 10 matches, and there's 14 high school weights because he thinks if he can't get a match that's the right caliber, they're just not going to do that match. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that NWCA could, number one, get more creative, and they actually did this 2 years ago. Remember they wrestled Stieber bumped up and wrestled. Who did he wrestle? Maple maybe bumped up and wrestled Maple. But I think they could get more creative with interweight matches. That would be a possibility. But yeah, Dean versus Miles Martin is the only one I'm like, wow, I really want to see that. But Farr versus Harner, at 157 it's Cam Desar versus Joey LaValle. I mean, it's a Missouri guy. I love that, but those guys aren't that highly ranked. Mays versus Kalaka, they just wrestled twice at the NCAA tournament. Zane Richard versus Montoya. This is not that exciting. Let's do some crossweight matches. Let's do some matches we're not going to see. I don't know that they can do this, but maybe let's throw in a Mark Hall in there since he's a redshirt. I bet he could probably compete in something like this because it's not a team type of event, So
Ben, you're making sense, man. You're slinging it. You're spitting some game and you're making some sense. I like it.
So yeah, let's do matches like that because frankly, this is an event that does not count on anyone's record. It doesn't count. So let's just put together the best matches we can. If we got to get creative, if you got to bump up Nolf to someone against 65 to get him a good match, bump that up. And who knows? I don't see any Penn State guys on here, so maybe Penn State said we're not taking part, and that's a huge part of the issue. But then that's what NWCA's got to put pressure on. Frankly, I'd maybe even go Dana. Not that I love Dana White, but I might go Dana White and just say Kale's a chicken. He won't send any guys to the NWCA. I don't know that's the case. I just fabricated that, but it could be the case because there's no Penn State guys here, right?
Yeah.
So I think you got to do something because there's only so many stars in college wrestling. There's only a handful of them, right?
Yeah.
And so when you're getting Bryce Meredith versus Anthony Ashnault, it's going to be a decent match.
I know you're making sense, man. I just think that there is some accountability to the length of the season, the fact that the coaches don't want to put their guys out there. It's tough. You don't have an all-star.
Don't do the event. Then don't do it.
But I agree. But the Senior Bowl and college Senior Bowl is extremely anticlimactic in the sport of football. I don't even think there's a basketball all-star game. If there is, I don't know about it. I
don't think there is.
It's hard to construct. So
yeah,
it's really hard to construct. But I do agree with you that it could be better. We could be doing some creative things. Get a big-time fresh red shirt out there against a
get a post-collegiate guy. Why couldn't you get a post-collegiate guy if you had to?
That might be allowable too. You could do a lot of fun things. Hey, I got to tell you though.
What?
Gabe Dean versus Miles Martin.
That's a fun one. That's a fun one.
That's a really fun one. I watched Miles Martin in the wrestle-offs last week at Ohio State. Dude is the dude.
Good?
Oh, he's vastly improved.
Well, that's good because he won.
He's even vastly improved from some of the freestyle matches he had in the spring.
Sure.
He physically looks different. He just looks like a true blue, absolute 84-pounder.
He had a big frame. He's tall, 6'2".
The thing I love about him, I liked him even when he was ranked, 13th in the country, with 2 weeks ago in the season. He can score.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that guy can go get points on almost every wrestler in the world, in my opinion. Now, he's got holes I'm talking about holes like at the Olympic level. Uh-huh. But you put him on the mat with basically everyone besides Sadulayev at that weight, he can go get points. Yeah,
I mean, I can't disagree with that one at all. And you're right. I would have said, if you would have asked me, I'd say he's got some holes. He's not a fantastic mat wrestler. He's solid, but not great.
Right.
So how do you see this match with him and Gabe Dean going?
So I watched Miles Martin very closely at the wrestle-off, and thought a lot about while he was mowing down the guy he was wrestling. Thought a lot about Gabe Dean, and I think there's two things that I think Gabe Dean's got the upper hand right now in the month of late October, November. So sure. I don't want to be too anticlimactic. I'm gonna take Dean in this match, but it's already close enough to me where I could see Miles Martin improving. He's got a little bit better upside over the next 4 months than Gabe Dean does. I think he's got a longer runway, so to speak. And the two areas, if I was coaching Miles Martin, that I would work on to beat Gabe Dean for the rest of the year is two areas. One, clearing ties, and two, leg attack defense. Yep. As it relates to Miles Martin's style and what Gabe Dean's good at, I think those are the two areas Miles Martin's got to improve in to beat Dean. And I'm a Buckeye. I'm a homer. I look at things through scarlet-colored glasses. But I also like this kid a lot, and I think he's going to pull it out in March.
Well, Dean's...
I really do. I think he's going to pull it out in March.
For as good as Gabe Dean is, he's strong on bottom. You're probably not going to ride him, but he's not going to get reversal or, he's not going to do anything dangerous. He'll get his 1 point. And on top, he's not really like a pinner or, he'll ride you tough, but he's not going to do anything.
He's just really solid and really disciplined.
So,
he's very disciplined.
Get your one and give your one there, that's kind of even. So you got to beat him on the feet, which is, I think, kind of what you were alluding to there. But it's he's lost twice last year and then twice as a sophomore, even though he won the NCAA title both years. So he's definitely vulnerable to an upset. I think this match could go either way.
Even on November 5th?
Even on November, I would say more. I mean, his sophomore he lost early twice.
Yeah, I could see it going either way on November 5th. I guess I just feel like Martin has a little bit more inconsistency. Not a little bit more. He just flat out has some more inconsistency within every match that he wrestles more than Dean. Dean's more close to the vest, not going to take many, risks or chances and is more disciplined in his approach. But, Martin has he can score on anybody.
Yeah.
I you put him on the mat against pretty much anybody, and I'm like, that dude can go get a takedown. Sure. And so it's hard to bet against someone like that,
Sure. Well, the only other match on this card that I'm really that excited about is Daniel Lewis versus Isaac Jordan.
That'll be great.
They were second and fourth last year, so Daniel lost to Derringer and Bo Jordan. Isaac obviously lost to Alex Derringer, beat his cousin Bo. But they're actually kind of similar styles. They're not dynamic on their feet, and they both flourish on the mat. They're both really tough on top.
Tough on top in different ways.
You're right, in different ways, definitely in different ways. Jordan's more basic, simple on top, and Daniel's.
Well, yeah, he's more of like I got to get my riding time point good on top.
But he doesn't let guys go easy. I mean, he is definitely tough to get away from.
Right, no doubt,
That's for sure. So but then besides that, nothing else. If you could have
speaking of Cleveland, which I gave a backhanded compliment to, and I feel bad about it because that's
where the All-Star is.
I love Cleveland. It's in Cleveland, yes, and I think they're going to turn out for this. I think Cleveland is going to turn out for this match.
Who's the Cleveland guy on this roster?
Well, you got
Collica, right?
Collica is from Solon, which is a Cleveland suburb. You got Ty Walls, who went to St. Ed's. Where's the roster been? I'm just trying to...
Richards, Montoya, they're not Ohio. Meredith, Ashnault, not Ohio. Mays is not. Cam Tassari, I believe, is...
Cam Tassari is a Monroeville boy.
Isaac Jordan, that's St. Paris. That's not
That's Ohio, though. That's Ohio.
So you got Walls, because Farr and Hunter are from Cleveland.
Read me some more names. We got Miles Martin, who goes to Ohio State, which is it attracts people to the match.
Yeah. Who else could you? Who else could you? I mean, how come Dean Heil's not in this? I mean, that's a Cleveland boy right there, St. Ed's national champ.
I don't know. You might want to talk to John.
Damn it, John! Start sending someone to the All-Star Classic. I'm coming down there and tie you up. That's what Mike Moyer called it. Well, Collica's in here, so why can't freaking Dean Heil be in here too?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Who else you got from Cleveland right now?
Cleveland, city of Cleveland. Hold on a second. I'm trying to look at the NCAA rankings. Can't find them here.
Well, and how come they haven't announced the 125 matchup? I mean, we're less than 2 weeks away from this now. What's the deal here, Tommy?
I don't know. Who could they have? It stinks that Tomasello's recovering from surgery because Tomasello's a Cleveland boy.
Yeah, he should be in here.
National champ. Well, yeah, but he's just legitimately recovering from the surgery. So,
name me a match. Obviously, besides Snyder versus Cox, that would be outstanding. That you would have liked to see. Crossweight, obviously within reason. I don't think people's going to bump 2 weight classes, but within 1 weight class.
Tomasello and Gilman would have brought people in the stands being in Cleveland.
Okay.
Tomasello and Gilman would have attracted people to the match. I would say Mark Hall versus anybody. Who would be a good match for Mark Hall?
Well, I mean, the obvious is Isaiah Martinez, and that's the obvious one.
Yep, that would have been a huge draw.
I think you could go Bojo and IMR2 would be a big draw in that area.
Bojo and Valencia.
Bojo and Valencia would be a big draw.
I think people in Ohio are knowledgeable to that deal.
Bojo versus Nickel. Who you got there?
I got Bojo.
Really?
I got Bojo.
Wow, because Nickel's going to have some size on him.
I don't think so. I saw Bojo watching wrestle-offs, and
he's big.
Oh my God! Yeah, he's
really.
Yeah, he's massive. I think he's a hollow.
I saw him this summer when I was down by you guys. He didn't look that big.
He looks like a hollow man, Ben. He's a hollow man.
Huh.
And again, I'm a diehard Buckeye fan though, so you got to take it with a grain of salt.
How about Nolf versus Isaac Jordan?
Nolf, well, yeah, that would be good. Who do I got there? Yeah. I got Nolf.
Nolf versus Rutherford.
Ooh, man, I think I would take Rutherford.
Really?
Yeah, but there's
that's a tough one. That's the match we want to see.
If they were the same, I think, I don't know, because if they're the same weight, I'd take Rutherford. But yeah, weight matters, at that level. And then obviously Gabe Dean and Miles Martin is on the list, and that's one that we actually get to see. Cox and Snyder would blow the roof off the place.
Yeah, that really would. That'd be the one. Cox versus Dean is an interesting match to me too. Obviously, Jaden's got the weight advantage, but they're both 2-time NCAA champions. I think it'd be a fun match.
Yeah, Bo Nickel versus Bo Jordan.
That's a fun one.
The battle of the bow.
I would have really. I might be biased here, but I really would have liked to see Levon Mays versus either Sorensen or Rutherford, because he didn't get to. He lost to Colica in the early part of the tournament. Bullshit calls, and then he beat him in the third place match. So he didn't get to wrestle Rutherford or Sorensen. I think those would be a lot of fun to watch.
No doubt. Yeah, we could put together a good all-star meet if everybody listened to us.
There we go. Maybe we should put together our own all-star meet. Can we? Is that even legal?
The T-Row and Funky all-star meet, sponsored by Rudis.
There we go.
I'm in on that.
Let's do it. I would like to match up some post-grads. It was always fun back in the day, and David Taylor did it last year, but when the post-grads would wrestle in the Midlands, that was always a lot of fun.
Maybe me and you should start. Well, I would have to start training last year, but maybe me and you should enter in the Midlands.
Okay, Tommy, I'm going to tell you something. I'm never.
Maybe if we can get 20,000 people to retweet from our account, then maybe I'll wrestle in the Midlands.
Okay, I'm going to top you, Tommy.
Okay, what are you going to do?
I've always wanted to put together a mercenary army that would go win the Midlands. Right? We just hire people. We pay people.
Why don't we have ex-wrestlers email us, see if they want to be on our Midlands team?
Yeah.
Dude, I got to start training now if this is going to happen.
Oh, we can't do it in December. It'd have to be next year.
It would have to.
I got to fight in December.
I'm 35 right now. I'll be 36 the next Midlands. It could be ugly.
But, I think we could put together a team that would win it. How fun would that be to
have
a non-collegiate team win?
That is true. I think we could put together a team that would beat another college team.
All college teams there.
Yeah, all college teams.
Team
Yes.
T-Row and Funky.
I'd do it.
Who are you going to recruit? Who can we get? Who would actually do this?
Does this mean I have to wrestle the heavyweight weight class?
I don't know, unless you can find another heavyweight to replace yourself. Well, Travell ain't wrestling because he's hurt, and he's coaching. You could be manager/player.
Oh God! So
I don't know if I can make 74.
Are you going 74 or 65?
No, 65. Are you on drugs? You can't make 65. For God's sakes. I'll go on a diet. I'll go on diet.
I'm on pain.
No, Mac glue.
Mac glue. Sorry.
I'll go on a diet and go 74. I know I could talk Max into wrestling 84. He's pretty lean right now. And then if it's next year, maybe we get Jaden to wrestle 97 or Jake Herbert. I got almost our top line.
Snyder to go heavyweight,
Oh, you're talking yourself up. No, he'll still be at Ohio State.
I mean, I'll do heavyweight, I guess.
Okay, this is
what place do I have to
2017.
get? What place would you be okay with me getting? Would I have to win it?
No, probably top 5.
I can do that.
Okay, who are you getting for the little guys?
Oh man, Gene Mills.
He's too old. He can't wrestle. He's done. Stick a fork in him.
Abbas. We'll get Abbas.
Oh, you think he would do it? You know who I would like to have on my team? I'd like to have Nick Simmons. I don't know if he'd do it or not.
Simmons would probably go, but he wouldn't go 25.
30. He could probably go 33. You
think Abbas would go 33 for 25 for a Christmas tournament?
Oh God, no! I don't think he can make it.
I don't think he would.
We need someone really smart. Maybe Obi Blanc down there at NC State. He's still pretty lean.
He's down. Yeah.
I think he'll be up there coaching. I think we could probably talk him into it. So we got Obi Blanc, Nick Simmons. I don't think those guys like each other. I think they had some heat back in the day.
Okay.
We'll tell them.
So Obi's at 25, Simmons at 33. Who's our 41?
Can Jaggers make 41?
No, he can't.
Stever.
You know, he's too young. We need like a real.
Oh, it can only be old guys.
We need a team where people are like, dude, that's freaking hilarious.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So
and then
Max is class of 2010.
He's old enough.
So let's go class of 2010 and before. So so who else we got? So
Obi,
how
Simmons.
about Jason Welch? How old is he?
Either way, he's like an appropriate character. Yeah,
okay.
He's good.
So he's our 57 or 65.
No, we could get Jared Lawrence to come out.
I don't know. You think he would do it?
Would Poeta do it?
Oh, I bet Poeta could be 65 and Welch could be 57.
Okay.
I think we could swing that.
Well, Lawrence won't go 49. I know that.
So we need a 41 and a 49. Who can we get?
41.
This is getting tough. We have only 2 weights left. Metcalf. Can we get Metcalf? He probably wouldn't wrestle for us.
I think he might do it.
How about Franklin Gomez? How about Humphrey? Reese Humphrey. He's old enough, right?
Reese would do it. What
weight would he be? 41.
We'll suck him down to 41. Really ruin his Christmas.
But he ain't. They gotta make cut. We have to pay these dudes, or they ain't cutting weight.
No. How about this?
What?
We only pay for your travel because we just want people that want to have fun.
But we gotta have people that want to win too, not just fun. We gotta smash some young punks.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Rub the young punks face in the mat.
The other thing is, like, I just, if I really did this, I would need 12 months, and I just really would expect to win.
So are we committing to this? Are we committing to this right now? 2017.
Oh God, I don't know about that. I gotta
Team
start.
T-Row and Funky winning. Can we be sponsored? Will Defense Soaps and Rudis sponsor us?
I think they might
get us singlets and warm up.
I know a guy or two at Rudis.
Could you get us warm up shorts, T-shirt?
Yeah, Rudis will absolutely do the uniforms for sure.
Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
I would legitimately have to go on a diet to make 174 on a 1 hour weigh-in. I could make it easy.
I would legitimately need to adjust my lifestyle in an extremely drastic way.
Might be good for you. Wrestle with Snyder twice a week.
I'm not wrestling with Snyder.
Twice a week.
You know, it would probably be smart for me to not get on the mats for 2 months and just run and lift for 2 months.
Maybe you could get JD to take your place at heavyweight.
Yeah.
I think Herbert would wrestle 97 for us.
Herbert would do it, and he'd be great. Rovat would get in the mix on that.
Oh, you think he would?
Yeah.
But we don't need 297s.
Yeah, we don't.
We don't need 297s.
41 and 49 is going to be tough.
Well, we got Humphrey.
He'd probably go 49. I don't think he'd go 41.
Okay.
Although I think he's sucking down for that Bill Farrell trial.
I thought he was retired.
I saw him on Facebook. It looked like he was cutting weight. Either that or he was sick or something.
Really? No, he's just lean. He likes staying lean.
I
mean, I think he might be too serious of a character to have on there. Let's see. Who else could we get here? Now I'm looking back through old brackets now, figure out who we could get. What about Lance Palmer? He would probably do it at 49.
He would get in there. That'd be fun.
Think so?
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, you think Chael Sonnen would wrestle?
I think Chael would be the coach.
All right, let's get him to be coach. Who else do we got in there? We should get Stipe to be a coach and really just draw a crowd, you know?
There we go.
Cleveland State alum.
Daniel Cormier would come.
He would do it. He would do it.
We might get Daniel. He might take your spot at heavyweight.
Okay. I'm in.
All right, Tom. We're having too much fun. I think we need to wrap this show. So you have a good night. And
all right.
Tommy, you got 14 months to get ready.
All right. Sounds good, man. Have a good night.
All right. See you, bud.
See you. You are listening to the T-Row and Funky Show, brought to you by Defend Soap. Defend what you have built.